Okay, this will be part 6 of Ezra, and let me turn the lights on and the text. Okay, this is what was revealed to us last time, and I've made some corrections. There was the 4 verse, made it a 3 verse, and you can see that the text little changes here that I made. And I did pick this verse to be gone out of that group of 4. I did add the words "we're going," and this was when they stopped at the lake and then they needed to count the people. Got quite a bit done, and then towards the end I know I was trying to hurry. Well, there was a lot of editing that I missed. Exiles are actually the people that who'd come from captivity. They would have been called captives. I would have put the captives who came from captivity would have been okay, but I decided to use the word people and then put whom here. And then when it was on the sin offering, when I thought about all of these rams being done, that they were all done together, okay? And they were burnt before our Creator. So I just thought that would have been how they done that. I don't think they would have done one at a time. I think they would have been doing this all at once. So that's how I made the text read all at once. And then I had Ezra delivering it to their king's degree to that Governor Tate east of the Jordan River for them to support his group. Okay. This text here, this needs it to be moved, or needs to be moved. It's just a separate text. So there's a space here between those texts that I left there on purpose. And then I needed to add or edit these words. And I know that I had highlighted the word iniquities and tried to tell you it wasn't as evil, but it was a wickedness because it's against our Creator, but it's not against a commandment, which I consider is evil or evilness. And that way, when you're reading the word evilness, you'll get that understanding. And then when you read wickedness, you will see that they're not obeying our Creator for when it's talking about Israelis. Then down here, I just put a great guilt. And now we can begin, or I can begin here with this group here, or the next group of words. And as you can see, I'm going to be removing this text here. It doesn't need to be there. For we are kings and priests. They don't have priests. They don't have their own kings. We're given into the hands, or he's describing what happened here, that he's talking to our Creator the last time here. So he's still continuing. Our Creator knows exactly what happened, but he's kind of restating these things. Given into the hands of the kings around our land, not around our lands, because there was only Judah that existed, but he's including the captives from the time before. So it would have been around our land, the kings that kept coming in from around our land, to be captives and be plundered. And this verse is not going to make it, because it is a 3-verse format, and this leaves us that I decided that this here is not text, it's just extra wording. Plundered. I could have used the word, well, I guess I can, and said this, and then said I don't need these words here, but I want to keep these words here. So I would do that. But now hope has come from our Creator. When he's talking to our Creator, I need to make the Creator you. Okay? So needed to. Boy, the text is awfully large. Maybe I better bring it down some here, yeah. So it stays on the screen. Although, wait a second. I guess I should have used all that verse. Got ahead of myself. Okay, now for a brief moment. Hope has come from you. Has come from you. And then I'm going to remove this because that's kind of like leave us an escaped remnant. No, he's gathering them together. He knows that they're not escaping, they're not any of that. He knows that he's gathering the captives as he has promised. So this is not a truthful statement. And has given us a place. Now the word is peg, but when you read it, it does mean a place. And by his, it says holy place, and I just made it house. We know that that's what the text really is referring to, kind of oddly. But given us a peg, or given us a place by his, by your house. Oops. That's better. Now, when it comes to these verses, this is just not tying into the story, okay? Now remember, what's happened above is that he's found out that they've intermingled with different races that were in Egypt. So this stuff, this doesn't go here. This is the wrong king, and this is kind of text that really doesn't need to be said or put any place. Or if I did take a look at those verses and say, hey, should I put them up with the others? But no, this kind of text doesn't need to be that way. The story is being covered pretty good in order so far, except for that last text that all of a sudden out of nowhere, this was not mentioned, and it should be mentioned at the lake. So I got to find all the text to do this, to move it together. This here, yeah, he might have said it, but I don't think it needs to be resaid. For you commanded through your servants, saying, in our promised land you are entering to possess, is an unclean land. Now he's referring, now he's continuing what they were guilty of. And do the order or his command was, do not give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters for your sons. You are never to seek peace with them, because he separated them to keep them separate from them falling away from him and picking up what's other gods. Now we know that they left them, so we know that they were, over time, they just our Creator stopped appearing in his house because the priests were corrupt. The practice in Israel that came from through Manasseh, Joseph's sons, was this meditating sex practice, to have sex with a so-called female goddess. So this is why he kept them separated. Never to seek peace with them, because then you'd be intermingling and you'd be discussing and arguing, just like we have a lot of arguments today over which God is which God. And it's funny because they're using a title, as Christians today just don't read or study. They think the word God is his name, and it's funny because it's a title. They don't know this, or they don't think about it. They're really pretty lazy at this time I'm doing these. They're very, very weak Christians. They're not supposed to eat anything, so, but that was coming in to their land, but that's what they promised him, was the spies actually went and said, look how fruitful the land is. So that makes no sense as to be put into the text here. That you are to be the strongest in your land. I guess that's what I was referring to as stay away from them. And then the inheritance will be for your sons forever. This is kind of odd. I didn't need any kind of correction here, which is very rare when I'm going through these. Okay. This text, no, this is out. This has no, it's already kind of been said, and we have to remember we don't need to repeat or double every time we talk about something here. We again break from your command. It's not commandments, because there's 12 commandments, and in the 12 commandments you will not find this command that he gave them. Again, we break from your command, and intermarried with, and here again, races, not just people, but races. Okay. Would you not be angry with us? I guess I need more text to correct that verse, and I'll do that when I clean this up. It doesn't kind of flow together. When I'm reading this, when I did this, I knew that this was I was looking for more verses, and then I just went past it. But would you not be angry with us, meaning that because we broke this this command of yours? So I don't know how to reword all this statement to make it speak about this. It's kind of like a summary on how our Creator would feel. And then it's kind of like, are you going to send us away for this? Well, this is not needed, because this verse here will cover that. This verse is not needed as in this group, and neither these words, for no one can stand before you because of it. Well, our Creator has commanded them to come before him. Okay, so this is just not true here. And I used the remaining remnant as meaning all those that are coming back, because these guys were exiles, or those that fled. They were would be considered exiles. Okay, but not by captivity, but by fleeing. So I wanted to make sure that the few that did escape, the remaining remnant, and this day we are before you guilty. So this is his questioning and asking our Creator, as he's going to say right here. As I, Ezra, was praying and making our confession before our Creator. Now, when you go through there and read that, you will see that he is talking to our Creator. So the word pray is, or praying is correct. If you don't have the ing, the word pray means how you are making your words to our Creator, or speaking to our Creator. So Solomon turned to heaven, spread out his arms, and knelt and talked to our Creator. So this is how he made his prayer and his petition. Don't need this here. Don't need the word weeping either. Making our confession before our Creator is all that's needed. A large assembly of men gathered to me for Israelis, and Elam said to me, and I don't need all this. This is just not necessarily truthful. I can't say this as many times as it needs to. It seems that I'm just repeating this words over and over, that they're false, they're not needed. Well, that's true, but there's so much that has to be removed, because what you're seeing though is how I'm finding little paragraphs in 3 verses, and that is so unique when you've seen how long this video has been, that within almost everything I have found stuff. Now if you watched me go through the Psalms, that it was just great big groups just not needed, and very little of Psalms did we find had the format. Okay, but when it did have a story. And a lot of times these groups that I'm finding, there was I think 2 or 3 of them that actually, like 4 verse grouping hooked to another 4 grouping, so they became like a paragraph. And then it was like another 4 group and another 4 group and another 4 group. But to see that text being sewed together is just a skillful writing by the writer. And I have noticed a few times as I'm going through here that I might have found some of that in here, where the 2 verses actually group together. But I'll go over that in the end. And what Elam is saying, a few have been unfaithful, because it can't be all, when he's talking, it can't be we. He come from a group that had noticed what was going on, and here he's explaining. So the thing here is while he was praying, making our confession before our Creator, these men that were aware of it, are they the ones that approached him to begin with? Not sure. I'd have to read it later and figure out that. But they're coming to him to offer some help on how he's reasoned out what among themselves that this would be just. And a few have been unfaithful and married with foreign males and females. In spite of this, let us make a vow. They don't make a covenant with our Creator. They make a vow when they're promising our Creator. It's a vow. That's why I have it a capital letter. They don't make, they don't swear to our Creator. They don't, give an oath or anything like that. They vow. And this is the vow, is that to send them away from us, according to the command from YHVH. Now, it means to say send them away from us, but what happens here is all their wives and children, that means only the sons are to go with them. I don't see that as being the truth there. I'm seeing that they need to send them away. And what it means is we're going to see those words appear later, but I couldn't allow it to say wives and children and only allow the sons to come with them. Our Creator is trying to keep the family unit together at all times. So this would be counter of what our Creator would be truly wanting when you're seeking justice. For example, when they came out of the promised land, Egyptians came with them, okay? There is text to prove that. They're saying, okay, I don't need these words. This just, because those were trembling about the commandment of our Creator. It wasn't a commandment, it was a command. And let it be done according to the law. Well, there is no law to tell us what to actually do. I mean, I know the text inside and out. There is no text what our Creator said, because like I said, in Egypt, when they left Egypt, those that were married to Egyptians or other races went with them, okay, into the Sinai. I know our Creator was specifically speaking to Israel, and so what it would be that those people, as they aged, they would have died out, and then they would have been back end married to other descendants from Israel. So yes, when you figure that out, this is they're going to go through this again. Rise up, for this matter is your responsibility, and we will be with you. Meaning, and I don't need a courageous act. When they say, and we will be with you, meaning they're going to stand up when he says this, that he's going to say, okay, this is how it's going to happen. Then, now he's kind of going to, like, it says, then Ezra rose up, but when I'm looking for 3 verses, I needed to get this out, and it's kind of just expected to know that this verse is, then I made their families make this vow. Okay, not an oath. I was saying they don't take oaths. It's a vow. And, you know, and when you see it, the leading priests and Levites, this is not true. There's no priest. And all Israel's, well, that wasn't all of them that done this. So only their families that had done this, okay? And that is married their daughters to their race's sons, different race, or the male was brought in, or the female was brought in from another race to marry with the family. So they're going to make a vow according to this proposal. Now we're going to go through the proposal, but this stuff comes in here that when you're reading the proposal, there's not much here. I mean, then he arose, he did not drink and eat, even though he's standing before him and telling him he's talking to him about this vow. The text just goes off in another area. And this, they're trying to make sure that it's back at the house for our Creator. That's just not true. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say this text does not belong. This text does not belong. This text does not belong. Because it's all about thinking that they're up there in Jerusalem. But this is actually happening there at the lake when they were gathering together. See how they're making it, all this as something that they all brought from Babylon. There's no story what they did from those that came from Babylon, but I would say that they made the same decision as what you're seeing here, or they left them behind and didn't bring them with them. So now he's saying, he's repeating it again, and he's talking about, okay, he says, his will, our Creator's forefather will, separate yourself from the people of the land and from your wives. That means to break up the family, and that's not that's against our Creator's will. He's not out trying to create orphans. So then they're complaining about how long this is going to take for them, so that isn't needed. Transgress greatly, which, you know, that's not true. Our leaders request the city and married foreign women come to the point of time and gather. Okay, now they're saying that to bring all of them together, and then they're going to have to turn his anger away from us. Well, he has called them together. They're trying to prevent his anger from arising. So then they had those that opposed what's going on. That's selected men that had households by name. And then they were going to investigate it, even though they know what was going on. They know what was they're going to call for an investigation. I don't think that needs to be anyone there, or that doesn't need to be. And then it's this, okay, they're going to offer up a ram for the offense. No, that isn't a requirement. That isn't what's done. That was never what happened in any of the texts before when they went into the promised land. So all that is out. And what we've come, though, is to the end, because this here, there's nothing here to connect it to. So what we do have, though, is according to this proposal, which was above, and that is to send them away from us. Now, it doesn't, I know it leaves it vague who is to be sent away, but if they didn't want to be sent away, they had the right to come with them. Okay, that's the thing. Example, the males are to be able to, the male descendants from Israel had land, and with our creators reestablishing, they're going back to their land that was assigned to them. Now the women who had married foreigners that are coming along with them, then that's questionable whether no, they did not go back. So this is what I'm going to look at in the text and maybe make that decision as to those women that had married and they're having their children. No, they wouldn't be allowed to come back. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened in the Sinai. There's no text to say that, but I just know that when they say some Egyptians, and Egyptians is kind of like I said, is a melting pot of different races. So, but we know that they will pass away and they're out of the cycle. But if a woman marries a foreigner, there's no way to say she gets land or has that land to pass on. That's why I'm pretty sure the women that are married, they were to be sent away. Okay, now that I got through the text, I need to clean this up, and only a half hour, so this, okay, needs to be copied and then cleaned up. And I think I can clean it up right here. Whoops. Oh boy, this is... See, when I'm clicking here and the space bar doesn't go up here, that means if I gotta go like this and then separate it like that, otherwise the text is gonna just be screwy all over the place. So like that. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to clean that up stuff later. There's just too many of them. But it stayed all 3 verse format, as you can see. And then it would have been this. Okay, now I can select it all, get rid of that. And then say, put this back at the end here, because that first part I've already combined them together. So here I'm going to edit it in front of you to see if I've got the correct 3 verses or 4 verses. For we were given into the hands of kings around our land to be captives and plundered. But now for a brief moment, hope has come from you and given us. Hope has come from you, and you have given us a place by your house. For you commanded us through your servants, but you had, and it says, yeah, I'm just trying to think of what you have. I'm just hoping that's what's going to happen to the text they're talking about. Yeah, saying the promise, saying in to your servant, saying commanded us through. Maybe Joshua reminded them, so I have to say servants, Moses, and then again Joshua when they went into the promised land. I'm thinking that's exactly what happened too. Because he went over, there's quite a bit of text of Joshua when he became the judge, of wording that he repeated to let's not think I'm just changing these type of things that Moses has commanded or given us. Saying, in your promised land you are entering to possess is an unclean land. Do not give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters for your sons. Okay. That's, yes, we said that, but we know, I just know the story that they weren't all pure, they weren't pure descendants, and as you can see this time neither. And never seek peace with them, that you be the strongest in your land and be an inheritance for your sons forever. And be an inheritance, and that's referring to the land. And after all that has come upon us for our evil deeds and our great guilt, we are again breaking from your command. We again broke from your command. And as a leader, he's taken it on um, like someone who's in command takes responsibility, even though he wasn't the one to do this. He has to be the intermediary, like the priest coming before and asking and requesting our Creator. This is his responsibility, and that's the way he would say this as we. Okay, so this is truthful the way he would be saying it. We, again, not some have, but we again broke from your commandments and intermarried with races. Would you not be angry with us? And intermarry with races. Intermarry with races. Now you again, it would be no. You now you would. And I'm thinking have an anger. Whoops, not that way. I was going for this. Now you would have anger for us, or anger against us. Anger, let's say, against us. And this is what they were worried about. This is why they knew they were guilty, but it wasn't against a sin. They would know what to do then, because there is laws for a lot of those. Now you would have intermarried. Now would you have anger against? Now you would have anger. Now you again would have anger. Now will you? Boy, I tell you, that's why I was saying when you try to get this correct, it's like I'm making this whole verse up and not the right one. Okay, hang on, I need to get this. So I'm going to have you look at the screen here. Take a look at this. Okay, sorry about that. An important phone call there. Where was I here? Oh yeah, telling you that I'm making the whole sentence up here. Now will you now be again broke your commandment or command and intermarried with races. Will you? It's kind of a question, so I guess this was not needed. Will you again have anger against us? Question mark. For we are the remaining remnant, and this day we are before you guilty. And then it's talking about, this is just, he was praying and making that confession, okay? He hadn't, word of our Creator didn't speak to him, so that is, there's nothing here to be edited, but there is going to be a space as like the next chapter. I'm going to put in breaks where the text just breaks largely. For I, Ezra, was making a large group of men gathered to me for Israelis, and Elam said to me, okay, few have few of us a few among us have been unfaithful. Okay. A few among us have been unfaithful and married with foreign males and females. In spite of this, let us make a vow with our Creator and send them away from us, or then send them away. Let us make a vow with our Creator, then send them away from us, according to the command from her. Let us send the married women. Let us send the married women with foreigners. Let us send the foreign males. Let us send the foreign males with women, and children away from us. Now, that's pretty long. How do I shorten that down? Because that's what needs to be said. Let us make a vow with our Creator. And this would have to be by sending sending the foreign males, the married foreign males away from us. Married. That's still not good enough. That's still not. And it's not going to be according, so I guess I could not use this verse and make up a verse by sending the married foreign males with their children away from us. And then get rid of this. And I'm going to have to do this, because this is just being honest that I made this up. I don't want you to think, anybody think that that's not flat out made up by me, because that it was. So then they're speaking to him, saying, rise up, for this matter is your responsibility as our leader. And he was taking that responsibility. And we will be with you. Then I made their families make this vow according to this proposal. Okay? So, it doesn't mean that they turn them away from our Creator, but they weren't allowed to come with them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this text and I'm going to add it at the bottom, because I've got all this stuff already done that I've showed you before. I'll stick it right here, go like that, and I'll clean this up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, I guess, for the last video, and we're going to see what I'm going to do without you for a while, because I'm going to try to figure out where the text goes, what reads odd, where it should go, and then make it a short video on the end of this. Because what is unique is how much text we do have of a great story, or the great story of their return. It is just awesome to see text like this. And this is what is my excitement when I do these, is that say that you watch the videos, and I would recommend that you do, about how I decided which king wrote what psalm or what prophet wrote what psalm, because the little text inside the text, I go and explain that it can only possibly come from this king or this prophet. And then when we're going to put everything to order, those pieces are going to be taken right out of Psalms and put over there. And then whatever pieces of the Psalms that are not there, they're going to be are not being able to be placed, will probably be grouped together, and there won't be that many of them. I think there's, well, I don't know how many, I don't want to guess, but the object is this text here is, well, let me make it small here just to show you. We've got pages, and these are 20, so when you see this line, these pages are like 20 inches long. So this, you're going to see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7 pages, 20 pages long of these verses that hook together to make up Ezra. This is really cool, because when you're reading things, you would like to actually read the story. It's going to take you, say, 15-20 minutes to, or probably 15 minutes to read if you're a fast reader. If you're trying to understand it as you're reading, you might be reading a little bit slower. But the object is, it's going to be in order, and that is so unique. That is so unique. We don't have that in many of the books. They just flip-flop all over the place. Okay, this one is done, and the next one, like I said, is going to be the end.